Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I hope you can see me okay. This is the Q&A with Professor Marcelo Machado Fernandez. That it is me, based out of Brazil, in Minas Gerais, on a city named Itajubá. Itajubá means Yellowstone. Yellowstone. Yeah, it comes from the Indians that were here, and from the language that was spoken by them. Yellowstone. It's a beautiful, beautiful city, surrounded by mountains. We call Serra da Mantiqueira, Mantiqueira Mountain. Yeah, very beautiful, very beautiful. Okay, and hello Kandasamy, and hello everybody. Remember that here I love to take all sorts of questions, so please feel free to drop here, okay, your question, regardless if you are a super expert, if you are a Lean Six Sigma professor, if there is anything I can help you, I'll be more than glad to take your question, okay? Regardless if you are a super master black belt, regardless if you are a beginner, if you are not a certified white belt, regardless if you are a green belt, a yellow belt, a black belt, all questions are welcomed, okay? All questions are welcomed. I am here to answer your questions, and I am here for this period of time to serve you, okay? It's not. Hello. How is my audio on a scale from 0 to 10? How is my audio on a scale from 0 to 10? Let me see if I am using the right mic. 1 second. Yeah? It is okay? Wonderful. Excellent. Yeah, it's a fancy microphone, see? Hello. Yeah? Okay, so please go ahead and type here it's lot. Drop here your question related to Lean Six Sigma, and I'll be happy to take it. Today we are starting a new black belt. Attention. Oh, we can do that.
Hello. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing amazingly. Sumitra,
Hermon, Listen, Kandasamy, Kennedy, Carlitos, Caguegelo, Ryan. Today we are starting our black belt. Yeah, black belt wave. I am super excited at 7 p.m. South Africa time. Yeah. So let's see, from Hermon, how are you, Hermon? How is UAE? How is Middle East? I want to ask you about the positions I can apply for being a green belt certified. So let me show you guys one thing that you can do. Yeah. There are many ways to check it. Okay? But one of the ways, Hermon, is I like Glassdoor. But there are other ways to check it, including LinkedIn. Okay? Including LinkedIn. But if you go to Glassdoor and just put Glassdoor in green belt, And I think it would be interesting if I share my screen, right? Yeah, it's here for some reason now they are asking to sign up, but let me just give you a flavor, Hermon. Let me just give you a flavor. 1 second. Yeah, I hope you guys can see. Let me know if you can see. But when you go to Glassdoor and then you search for Greenbelt, you have open positions, open positions where they are requesting this kind of certification. So mine is in Portuguese. Mine is in Portuguese. But see, we are talking about positions related to logistics. We are talking about positions related to finance. We are talking about positions related to operational excellence. We are talking about positions related to qualidade is quality, quality and process. See? So normally the positions, Hermon, that you can search where they will value your green belt, the positions are pretty much related to operational excellence, to quality improvement, to continuous improvement. Yeah? And yes, there is a concentration in positions like analysts, engineers, you know, not super senior positions, okay? Not super senior. I would say mid, in terms of hierarchy. Yeah? So that's my recommendation. And you can do the same on LinkedIn. You can do the same on LinkedIn. Just remember, Hermon, that green belt normally it is not a position, so it's hard to find like job offers where your position, your job title will be green belt, differently from black belt. Black belt, yes, you can find jobs where the job position, the job title is black belt, okay? So on LinkedIn, there is one specific area that is for jobs, So take a look here. On LinkedIn, there is one specific area that is for job. See, job. So when you click here, you can, for example, green belt. So see that we have this is more related to IT. Yeah, IT service level manager for Caterpillar, an amazing company, specialist in continuous improvement. And again, I'm sorry that this is in Portuguese. I hope you guys can see and understand. So Cargill, another huge company. They have huge operations in Brazil. Novelis, senior engineer for Pinda. By the way, Pinda is very close to my city. It's closer to the city of Carlão. Cargill, specialist in continuous improvement. This one is in English. Technical assistance and quality manager. Yeah? So this is another way to find job positions, and on LinkedIn you can fine-tune your search by country, okay? And remember, you guys that are certified green belt, you can mention my name. Yeah, you can put me as a person if they wanna call, if they wanna reach out to me. If you are a certified green belt and above, green or black or master, yeah, you can in your when you apply for a job, you can say, I am a certified green belt by Professor Marcelo. By the way, if you want to get some reference, about myself as a student of Professor Marcelo, you can reach out to him via LinkedIn, or you can give the email, support at mftreinamentos.com. Yeah, and I'll be more than glad to endorse you, in your job um, application. Okay. Let me know if that was helpful, Hermon. My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. How much per month should I pay for the black belt class, and when is the last date of payment to be in the class starting soon? Listen, in fact, the class starts in few hours and the registration process is now closed.
Unfortunately, the registration process is now closed.
But in 2024, we'll be back. I hope. I hope to be back in 1 year from now. Okay, normally black belt we offer once a year. Yeah. So stay tuned. Listen, stay tuned. Yeah. And then you can join us next year. The sessions are live. They start today, 2 hours per day, and then we have Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, live session via Zoom, because the number of students is very much reduced, as you guys can imagine. So it's a very, how do I say, VIP environment. Yeah. For this wave, we have less than 40. It's 30 something. Yeah, including all the students, including all the black belt students. And then we have Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours per day. And then we have 5 mentoring sessions. So in fact, it's 25 sessions. Yeah, 5 career mentoring sessions. It's 20 technical sessions where we cover the black belt content. And then we have 5 mentoring sessions where I like to listen from the students, like the challenges that they are facing implementing Lean Six Sigma, and then I give my 2 cents, and also the other students can give their 2 cents as well. Okay. The sessions are also recorded. They are live, but I do record all of them, but the mentoring sessions, no. What else? Then we have like the weekly Q&A sessions with Professor Alexandre, access to the LinkedIn community. Yeah, feedback from students about the black belt alumni students. The feedback is very positive. Black belt right now is 5 flat. Remember that in Hotmart you can score like stars, up to 5 stars. Our green belt is from 4.8 to 4.9. Okay, they give just 1 decimal place. So the majority of the sessions are 4.9, but there are some that are 4.8. They are considered very high. And black belt is 5 flat. So yeah, Students are happy with black belt. Yeah. Oh, the audio is not clear. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Hi, I want to know if the Green Belt Lean Six Sigma certificate has, if it does expire. It does not, I would say. It does not expire. Yeah, it does not expire. Okay? Fala, Carlos Alberto, beleza? Fortalece, meu amigo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carlos. Yeah, the project management certification does not expire. Yeah, does not expire. It does not expire. Yeah. Guys, any technical questions? Any questions related to Lean Six Sigma itself, like the methodology? Any questions about Gauge R&R, about CPK, about PPK, about Sigma level? Any questions about the soft skills? Guys, any questions related to the method itself? I'll be more than glad to help you. About project management, we will not offer that anymore, Herman. We will not offer that anymore. Yeah. Because, see, we do apply, Herman, we do apply um, continuous improvement in our processes, right? We do apply continuous improvement in our processes. Yeah, and by far the most important CTQ is student transformation. This is by far the most important CTQ. And how do I measure that? When a student posts on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Instagram a certificate, oh, I have concluded my green belt, I have concluded my black belt, I have concluded. We run a kind of respectful investigation to check the impact in their careers. Nowadays it's relatively easy, and sometimes we reach out directly to the student to know what kind of impact was promoted. Because, see, I I feel extremely happy when someone says, Marcelo, your learning strategy is amazing. Marcelo, you are so cool. Marcelo, you play the guitar so amazingly. Marcelo, I love your... I feel good. But this is zero. It means nothing in terms of the legacy I want to live in this world. I don't want to be recognized by a, a cool professor, or a learning strategy innovator only. Yeah, my mission is to impact careers, impact careers, impact careers, impact careers. That's my mission. So when I see, for example, Alexandre, that 3 years ago his career was, and I am talking about Alexandre because many of you guys know Alexandre. His career was like this in terms of number of projects, in terms of salary, like this. And then when I see Alexandre working, training, like Alexandre had a chance to deliver trainings for Amazon, training / projects, only in Six Sigma, Amazon, Cargill that I showed here. He is my, let's say, my right arm in this student support. So I see, and he ran a lot of projects here in our city related to smaller businesses. He ran a lot of Lean Six Sigma projects. And then when I remember that Alexandre was my white belt student, and then he became a yellow, and then he became a green, and then he became a black, and last week he became a master black belt, and I see the impact in his career. I see that certifications operated as a vehicle, as a vehicle, as a vehicle. The final destination, and there is no destination because we always want, to reduce waste, to reduce variability, to find something better. There is no final destination. But the vision in terms of destination is career transformation. Yeah? And why am I saying this connecting to project management? I am saying this because you will find these kind of transformations more in our yellow belts or more in our green belts. You guys tell me, where do you think we find in our investigations, true career transformation, like a promotion, like finding a job or finding a better job? This is easy to check on LinkedIn. This is easy to check. And again, sometimes we just ask our students, so we can somehow correlate the impact of Lean Six Sigma on their careers. So where do you think I am seeing more of these impacts? In my green belts or in my yellow belts? You guys tell me. In my green belts or in my yellow belts? Type here in our chat window. Do you think the majority of the transformation is concentrated in my green belts or in my yellow belts? By far in my green belts. In my green belts. So that's why after white belt I offer green. Why? Because again, if you wanna be a yellow belt, that's okay. You know more about your career than me. Much more. I do respect that. But yellow belt is a duck. Yellow belt is a dangerous midpoint where because see, white belt is pretty much for you to check if you like Lean Six Sigma or not before doing any investment. So you can check if you like the make or not. If you like the make, the next step is career transformation. It's career transformation. The next step is to run projects, real projects. So you need to learn how to run projects, And then we decided to make this a little bit more robust, but it's like trying to trying to make a yellow belt closer to green belt, but it is impossible. In fact, green belt is green belt. Green belt is green belt. So because my objective at the end of the day is to help you to have a career transformation, my focus will be GB and BB, even more than MBB. We have just finished our Master Black Belt certification program recently. But technically speaking, I don't know if you guys know that black belt is way harder than MBB. Yeah, Master Black Belt should master the black belt body of knowledge. And then what comes in addition to that, it's pretty much soft skills. It's project portfolio management. It's like mentoring techniques or how to design good trainings. It's not only soft skills. It's soft slash hard. But do you guys agree that this is much lighter in technical terms than response surface methodology, than variation inflation factor, variance inflation factor, then CCD, central composite design, technically speaking, in terms of stats in this case, So that's it. It's GBBB, GBBB. GB if you want to have a good career transformation, keeping doing what you do, and BB if you consider being a full-time problem solver. Yeah, because BB, it's only black belt. It is only if you consider becoming a full-time problem solver. So let's suppose you are a procurement analyst and you love procurement. You love procurement department, You love the area. You want to be an expert in this area, procurement. But you want to have like superpowers in terms of problem solving for procurement. Black belt is not for you. Black belt is not for you. You should stop at the green belt level. Black belt is only if you consider being a full-time problem solver, meaning you'll be running projects in operations, procurement, HR, in service industry, in manufacturing, Yeah, so that's why we don't have project management anymore, my dear friends. So after white belt, we will do 100% of our best, to convince you that green belt is important. Yeah? Let me know if that makes sense, my dear friends. A lot of questions now. Professor, please, what is the practical inference of CPK equals 1? Oh, that's amazing. So, she didn't do. Yeah, let me see if I can easily replicate here in our beautiful Minitab. Yeah. CPK equals 1. So just a quick reminder that CPK is by far one of the most popular capability indexes. Okay, very popular. Yeah, And it's funny because there are some, there is a debate, on literature when we ask about what does C stand for, what does P stand for. K is katayori. Katayori is a word, is a Japanese word that means offset bias. Yeah. C, many authors say that it stands for capability, and P for potential. For potential. As PPK, the capital P is performance, and the little p is potential as well. Yeah. And why Katayori? Why Katayori? See that in 1920s, Walter Schubert proposed the what we call today the SPC, statistical process control. Yeah, statistical process control. If you are a green belt, you know that SPC is pretty much about checking stability. Stability. It has nothing to do with capability. It has nothing to do with specification limits. You have control limits. With control charts, you are pretty much checking process stability. Yeah, if your process is stable or not. If there is one or more special causes or not. Yeah? Wonderful. So, and everybody knows about the beauty and the power and the importance of statistical process control. But the point is, what if I want to consider customer specifications and I want to check if my process is not only stable but also capable of making our customers happy. Marcelo, but is it possible a process that is stable and my customer is not happy? Yes. It's like me playing soccer. I am very much stable, but terrible. Yeah, I have problems in kicking the ball, but I have problems always. It's stable, predictable. I am consistently wrong. I am consistently a bad soccer player. I'm consistently terrible. Yeah. So this is just a quick introduction about CPK, just to talk about the importance of this index. And it was proposed by two Japanese engineers. Yeah. And again, that's why there is a reference to a Japanese word, again, that is katayori, right? And then what does in simple terms, what does CPK represent? So I want you to think in terms of a car trying to park in the garage. Okay? Car trying to park in the garage. So I'm gonna use here an example that I have never used before. That is cheese bread weight. So if you are not my student yet, please search for cheese bread, okay? And then you see one of the most amazing things in life, okay? Cheese bread weight. So let me generate here 100 data points. By the way, in order to calculate CPK, the recommendation is that you have at least 100 data points. Yeah. Preferably in 25 what we call subgroups by the size of 4. So it's like you take 4 cheese breads in the first hour, 8 a.m., and then at 9 a.m. you go and take four more cheese breads at 10 a.m., four cheese breads at 11 a.m., four cheese breads. That's the general recommendation. It changes a lot from process to process, okay? But in terms of the precision, because see, normally we work with a sample, yeah? So in your CPK, you can associate a margin of error, yeah? So in order to have a good precision, a minimally good precision, the recommendation is to have sample size at least of 100, yeah? The Because the lower the sample size, the smaller the sample size, the wider the interval, yeah, the worse the margin of error, yeah. At some point when you start increasing your sample size, you will not see a huge difference in terms of margin of error, but you need to reach at least a certain sample size, yeah. So let me show you guys here, and then let's suppose we have like subgroup size equals to 4, and then let's suppose I want my cheese bread at least with 9 grams and max 12 grams, okay? So see that we have here, I can argue this is lower spec limit and this is upper spec limit. I can argue that this is a garage. This is a garage, yeah? And this is my process. So see that my process does not fit in this garage. Yeah, even if I am an amazing driver, I will not be able to properly park here, in my garage. Yeah, I will not be able to do that. A very simple way to understand that, is if you come here and check CP 0.5 means only 50% of my car fits in this garage. Only 50%, So now, take a look. Let's suppose we had something like this. Or 10 to 19. See, that's an interesting situation. Now my car does fit in the garage. So see, CP is 1.02, meaning in very simple terms, it means it is possible to fit my car in the garage, yeah. And there is also some, let's say, some room for variation here, yeah. But see, CPK is negative. Very interesting. Why CPK is so terrible? Yeah, by the way, CPK, yeah, the higher the better. Yeah. So the beauty about CPK is it does consider not only the fact that the car fits or not in the garage, but also if the car is well parked. So it considers offset, it considers bias, how biased is my process. Yeah, so let's suppose now I have something like that. Where my car is kind of perfectly, or perfectly no, but it is just fitting in this garage. So she didn't do. So CPK is very close to 1. Maybe if we had like 13.2, maybe 13.1. Guys, just give me 1 second, okay? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so see, we have here CPK equals 1. Yeah, 1.01. So what does it mean, Shidindo? It means that your process, your car, is just fitting the garage. You have like no room for variation. Shidindo, no room for variation. Yeah? Is CPK equals to 1 something good or not good? It is considered dangerous. The recommendation is at least 1.33. And why 1.33? Because if you have something like this, or if you have something like this, see 1.31, see that the car is properly fitting, parked in the garage, and there is also some room for variation. There is some room for variation. So this is good. This is good. Yeah, this is good. So, what's the practical inference of CPK equals 1? It's kind of dangerous. It's better than 0.5. It's better than CPK equals minus 2, for example, in terms of customer satisfaction, because CPK is totally directly connected to customer satisfaction. Directly connected. Okay? Directly connected. And remember, you said in the context of process control, but remember that it has to do with process capability. Yeah, normally we associate control with stability. Yeah, stability is pretty much control charts. Yes, to check stability. Capability, then we are talking about CPK, PPK, sigma level. Wonderful. Please let me know if that was helpful. Shidindo, thank you for your question. Histogram is useful to in which situation? So Kandasamy, see, I did not see your question before, but here we have a good example where histogram helped us very much. So see, there is a histogram here. This is a histogram. So histogram is important to help you understanding the shape of your data, yeah? So you can infer about the probability distribution associated to your process. Yes, Kawasami? Kenny, Professor, if I wanted to become a certified consultant for Lean Six Sigma in the next 3 to 5 years, what should I equip? Is it more than enough with black belt? Yeah, Kenny, I would strongly recommend, if you want to be a full-time consultant, definitely to get your black belt, to become a certified black belt, and study, and apply. Okay? Remember that if you do not have previous experience, I strongly recommend you offering for a period of time free consultancy, okay, so you can get some experience. Hi, Professor. How can we measure the performance of a labor operator if we don't have standard reference and or history? Cheryl, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. You need to define. Very good question. You need to define. For example, if we are talking about OLE, overall labor effectiveness, that is the equivalent of OEE for people, you need to define a standard cycle time. You need to define, yeah. But remember that you need to associate that to good output, good deliverable, high quality output. So for example, if you wanna check, Cheryl, if you wanna check, let me see if I can do this just to give you a flavor, okay? Just to give you a flavor. So let's suppose for this Q&A, let's suppose I have to answer at least 10 questions and I have 60 minutes, yeah? So I can argue that my standard cycle time is 6 minutes. I cannot spend more than 6 minutes per question. Yes, sure. Does it make sense? So the first thing you will check at the end of this session is how many good answers. How many good answers did Marcelo present? Okay? And then let's suppose we argue that, and we call this value added time. Yeah, let's suppose I was able to respond seven good answers. It presents 7 good answers. So it's 7 times 6 minutes. So even knowing that I was here, like I spent here 6 minutes, my value added time was 42 minutes. So my OLE, yeah, considering that my scheduled time was 60 minutes, my OLE is this guy here divided by this. I was like 70% effective. Yeah, it's about effectiveness. But then I can argue that someone called me. You guys heard. You guys heard that because the water just came in, and my wife is not here, so I had to go there in front of my apartment. So who knows the name of that? This is a downtime, unplanned. I was not expecting that. So my class was interrupted. There was a downtime, unplanned downtime that took me, I don't know, it was not that, but just to make it simpler, let's say 5 minutes. So now I have something that we call available time. So I can argue that I did not have 60 minutes. Oh, by the way, I had some problems with my camera at the beginning. I don't know if you guys noticed. I started like 2 minutes, 2 minutes past the hour. So I can argue that my downtime was 5 minutes. So in fact, I did not have like 60 minutes to work. I had what? I had 60 minus 5. Yeah? 60 minus 5. And then here, I have something that we call, I'm gonna call hidden waste. It's something very hard to measure because this is measurable. This is observable, measurable. This one here is not measurable. This is very hard to see, guys. Yeah. And that's why normally we do this. And just to make it simple, I'm gonna put here real work time. So let's suppose for some reason I had to answer again. So let's suppose I said some wrong information and then, oh my god, I said something wrong in terms of the black belt registration process. Let's suppose, oh no, it's still open. It's still open. You can join us. And then I am spending some time here to rework, some previous wrong information. So you need to quantify the time of wrong information. You need to quantify that, and so let's say rework and scrap time. My rework and scrap time was, let's suppose, 5 minutes. So I had 42 minutes of value added time, 5 minutes of rework time. So I have in total, for what we call operating time, 47 minutes. So see that it was calculated. Yeah, this is defined, this is measured, this is calculated, this is calculated based on standard cycle time, this is measured, this is calculated, and now you'll be calculating again. So see, I have basically three types of waste. This is pretty much waste. Yeah, and I'll be calculating this. I'll be calling this hidden waste simply by the difference between operating time and available time. And what is hidden waste? It is this is waste. This is waste, or maybe something that I could explain in 2 minutes, and then I took like 3 minutes. 4 minutes. It's like this micro waste that it's hard to observe, to quantify, but how do you reach this waste? You reach this waste when you calculate value added time. See, everything starts by the calculation of value added time. Because see, it's like the initial conversation that we had when I said, what is my objective? What is my purpose? It's to transform career. So at some point in time, I'm going to ask, how many green belts, how many people were transformed by green belt or black belt? And I can multiply this deliverable, good output to a certain time. And then I can calculate my OLE, my overall labor effectiveness, in terms of career transformation. But see, if I don't have and I can fine tune, I can update this standard cycle time. I can update that, but you must have. If you don't have a standard cycle time, it's very hard to manage. And you can decide, for example, in this case, complex questions, normal questions, and easy questions, So you can define different standard cycle times. Yeah, one standard cycle time for complex, one for medium, for normal, and one for easy questions. Yeah. Let me know if that makes sense, Cherio. I can open the simulated case. Sorry, I just got back from a long layoff. Hi, Luis. Yeah, I do strongly recommend you writing, to support at mftreinamentos.com. Okay, we'll definitely help you out. Or if you want to drop this question in our community. Hi sir, when will you start again the webinar for green belt only? And is it okay if, for example, I have different belts from different... I think you are talking about our black belt. Black belt certification process is now, registration process is now closed. Is now closed. Yes, we'll get started today in few hours. The first session, yeah? Hello, Professor Marcelo. I'm your student, green belt, yellow belt course. I haven't completed it. When is the course expire? I am now 85%, started in June. You have 1 year, Cecilia, 1 year. So you have still until June 2023, okay? We do offer an opportunity to renew, at a much cheaper price, in case you wanna keep having access to the Q&A sessions and everything. But do your best to get certified max by June, okay? Pum, 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 pum. There will be, Rodrigo, a white belt, because we were planning in August, but there are so many people asking about white belt, so many people, that we decided to open up another white belt starting on March 13th. And every time that we offer white belt, we offer at the end of white belt a yellow plus green. Okay, so on March 15th, we'll be opening up for yellow plus green. Okay. Hi, Professor, could you please throw more light on the Six Sigma in terms of 3 standard deviations for both sides? Yes, just this. So all processes that behave according to the normal probability distribution, if you calculate mean plus 3 standard deviations, and if your process is stable, mean minus 3 times the standard deviation, you'll be able to predict, in fact, 99.73% of the data points associated to your process. So again, 3 times standard deviation to one side, 3 times to another, has to do with the famous 99.73%. So I'm saying that we can predict, again, if your process behaves according to a normal probability distribution, and if your process is stable. And we do consider 99.73% as the practical or virtual 100%, because a normal probability distribution starts on minus infinite and it ends on plus infinite. So we could argue that anything can happen in a process. So we can argue that it's impossible to manage, because anything can happen. And this is practically terrible. So we create this, practical cutoff. So from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma. Professor, can we identify outliers in histogram? I mean, you can, Cedric. I would definitely not recommend that. Why? Because you would need to have something visually very extreme. And remember that in the bars, normally you have more than one data point. You have a frequency, in the y-axis. So I would definitely not recommend. It is possible. If I tell you that it's impossible to identify outliers in histogram, this is not true. It is possible, but it's definitely not the right tool. You can use boxplot, and remember, if you have a lot of data points, boxplot is not the best tool. There is a test in stat, basic statistics, outlier test. Okay, let me show you. That's a very cool way to check outliers. You know, stat basic statistics, outlier test. Stat basic statistics, outlier test. Yeah, it's depending on your sample size. It's even better than histogram. The famous Hussein. How are you, my friend? Hussein is one of the very first Greenbelt students ever, you know? Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you here. Very helpful and insightful. I am glad to know that, Shidindu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ramon, just to say hello for my best teacher and friend. Thank you, Ramon. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here. It really makes sense, Professor, as I'm arguing about this, that we need to define standard time. Yeah, Cherio. This is, I will leave this session here public, you know, it's open. So feel free to share with your peers, with your co-workers, you know. You can say, see. I hope it helps you, Cheryl, in your argumentation. Yeah, everything will stay here in my YouTube channel. It's open. Yes, Kandasamy, you can. After extension, you can take the tests. Herman, another brilliant, amazing green belt from Colombia. It's a pleasure to have you here, Herman. OLE is a great topic in order to support the liberal management. Dear Marcelo, you recommend us an article or material because it's not yes, OLE, that's a good point. OLE is not easy to find material. I would strongly recommend, Herman, you going for the OEE literature, OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, and then you can associate these to labor. Yeah. Eternal thankfulness to you, dear teacher. Thank you, Herman. Thank you. Boyeke, I'm glad to know that. Thank you, guys. My dear friends, I know I have passed a little bit the top of the hour. Normally, I try to keep this Q&A from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, max 60 minutes. So thank you so very much. I am doing all my best to keep this on a weekly basis, on an Asia-friendly time or Africa Central. Keep doing all my best to be here at least once a week with you guys, okay? Professor, our problem is utilization measured, we compare machines through Pareto of downtime and time series. Are we missing? No, this is an amazing way, Jessica. This is an amazing way. That's the recommended way, That's the recommended way. Yeah? Guys, thank you so very much. And talk to you guys. If there is any black belt, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Bye-bye. Thank you.